Welcome in and welcome back, everybody, to Sports Prophet TV. This is the very important NFL podcast. It's just going to be me tonight. My guy Sosa could not make it. Probably watching the Dodgers or something. I know he's a big Dodgers fan, so just going to rock it solo tonight. I've already got the slides kind of made up for the show, so it'll definitely be a quicker episode, but I'll try to give out a couple of picks and some value while I'm here. Real quick, the week 4 recap. The last show we did was a couple of weeks ago. 3-1 on the picks. First one was that Thursday night game, Cowboys and the Giants. Remember, this is 2 weeks ago, so not last week, but the week before. I tweeted out, I was like, this was potentially the lowest energy regular season football game I've ever seen, maybe outside of like some completely meaningless week 17, week 18 games, where both teams are playing backups and teams are eliminated. But this wasn't. This was a week 4 primetime Thursday night game, division rivals, and the energy was just not there. It was miserable. So really, I don't know what the deal is with that. I think neither team really thinks they're going somewhere, I guess, and it definitely looked like that. Then the next one that we gave out was San Francisco -10. They got that one done pretty easily, covered against the Patriots. And then the next one was Seattle and Detroit. Went over the total pretty easily. Like Sosa said, it was a shootout. So that one definitely came through with ease. The one after that was the Ravens, and that was our most important matchup. That was Ravens and Bills, and that was a no-sweat winner. That was Ravens at home. Just absolutely walloped the Bills from start to finish. Wasn't even close. So 3-1. Like I said, I'm going to look through. I'll get my screen share going on here in a second once we get to the board, and I'll give out a couple of picks. Next up, we'll just jump right into the Thursday night football preview. Divisional matchup, Seahawks. We talked about them a couple of weeks also, as far as, which one of we had all the 3-0 teams up on the screen. Which ones of these 3-0 teams are legit? Which ones are not? We kind of hinted at Seattle not being so legit, and that seems pretty obvious. I'm not saying that they're a horrible football team, but definitely not. They were never going to run the table, right? So they've got some holes here and there. 49ers, on the other hand, it's been kind of a weird start to the season for them. 2-3, worst start to the season in quite a while for the 49ers. But if you look at the box scores, you kind of dig into them. They've outgained their opponents in all 3 of their losses. So this one opened at San Francisco -5.5 on the road. It's currently sitting at San Francisco -3.5. I doubt this gets down to a flat 3. If it did, I would definitely have some interest in San Francisco, laying the number there. Like I said, I doubt it gets there, but if it does, even at a -120, count me in on San Francisco -3. I still think this team is just fine. And I think that, like we saw last week with the Giants, Seattle's got some real offensive line issues, and San Francisco, they ain't the Giants, so they'll continue to cause some issues in that Thursday night game. So I would look towards San Francisco, especially if it gets to like a flat 3. Count me in. All right. On to our next one. This is going to be the most important matchup. I thought this was pretty easily the most important matchup. So, man, how about Washington? They've been a lot of fun to watch. I did sprinkle them before the season, NFC East 8-1. I wasn't real high on the Cowboys. I kind of felt like the Eagles were due for a little fall off. I feel like the Eagles have had some holes, in particular on defense. We have seen that so far. In that Eagles defense, they're bottom 5 in EPA per play allowed. So they've got some issues. So looking at this one, though, most important matchup. This is a noon kickoff on Sunday. Line currently sitting at Ravens -6.5. This opened at Ravens -8.5. This game will be played in Baltimore. So obviously tons of steam coming in on Washington here. And I get it. I mean, they've been a fun team to watch. Um, Obviously, they beat the Bengals. They're 4-1 atop the NFC East. Absolutely demolished the Browns last week. And I'm ashamed to say I was actually on the Browns in that game. But look, you got to take your lumps. When you're wrong, you're wrong. I liked the matchup on paper because of this Washington defense and the issues that it has against the run. But the Browns didn't even come out and run the ball. They came out and tried to throw screens and tried to, do, play action, pitch passes on first down. I mean, I'm not saying that game was an unfair result, because it wasn't. I just thought it was horribly managed and horribly planned by the Browns, and really just couldn't have gone any worse. But looking at this one, we have seen from time to time, we saw it against the Bengals, we saw it against the Browns, definitely saw it the first week against the Buccaneers with Washington. Jaden Daniels, he has yet to see a really, really elite defense. Buccaneers probably, obviously Browns on paper have a good defense, but they just haven't really shown up this year. So Buccaneers probably the best defense that they've played, right? Other than that, Giants, Bengals, Cardinals, not so good. I still think he's a rookie. I still think you go up against the Ravens defense on the road, it's going to be a level up that he hasn't seen yet. And they're going to get pressure on him like he has not seen yet. I think that's a big deal here. And I also think there's no two ways about it. Look, I know Washington's 4-1, good for them. It's been a really fun Cinderella story, to start the year for Washington, but they're dead last in EPA per play allowed for a reason defensively. So I think Lamar Jackson and all the weapons he has there, that great run blocking offensive line in Baltimore, I think they have their way. And I would actually lean towards the Ravens on the spread. I think, again, this is going to be a level up from what Washington has seen so far on the offensive side of the ball. And I love the Ravens. Throw them in a teaser, 6.5 point teaser. That's minus 125, minus 130, depending on the book. But I think Ravens are a fantastic teaser leg this week, just because I don't see how Washington stops Lamar and the Ravens. I don't see it happening. So love the Ravens as a teaser leg. If you got a great price on the money line, you use them in a money line parlay. That's fine too. Whichever one comes out cheaper in the end, right? So that is definitely the most important matchup. Let's see what else we got here. I think I need to share my screen now. Just bear with me, folks, and then we'll get into the board. Screen share. All righty. Here we are. All right, looking at DraftKings here, that's typically the one that I like to go to. I'm just gonna kind of run through. I'll throw out a couple that I think are good looks. Man, the Jaguars are a weird story this year. Chicago 2-point favorites. Nice win for the Bears last week. All right, I'm going to look at Cowboys-Lions. I don't see any way that game is not a shootout. It's just Cowboys at home. They're going to create a little bit more on offense than they normally would otherwise. And I think Detroit is maybe the best offense in football. They're awesome. So I'm going to go with the over 52 there in Cowboys Lions for an official show pick. The Cowboys have the worst run defense in the NFL in almost any category. If you're looking at analytics, if you're looking at just old, stats on paper, statistics, the Cowboys run defense is just absolutely abysmal. People try to blame Dan Quinn for that. Clearly he wasn't the issue because Zimmer's come in and it's worse. So really, I mean, you can't just go over and over and over year after year, not drafting or bringing in any good interior defensive line talent. And when they finally did decide to draft an interior defensive lineman, they drafted a 6-year senior out of Michigan that was a complete dud in Mozzie Smith. So the Cowboys' run defense, real problem. I think the Lions just have their way in this game, and I think the Cowboys will be forced to play catch up. I don't really have anything on the side here. I think the -3 is fair, and anything can happen at home in the NFL. I think the Cowboys stink, to be honest. I'm a Cowboy fan. I think they kind of stink this year. I've said it, a number of times, but I do like the over 52. That number is a little bit higher for a reason. So, first show pick right there. All right, let's keep it rolling. Okay. All right, let's look at I may just go ahead and do a teaser, actually, just because I love this Ravens -6.5 for a teaser. And then I will roll with, let's go. There's a dog that I liked. Yeah, this one's kind of funky, but I'm gonna trust the dome. I'm gonna trust the Superdome in New Orleans. I know Spencer Rattler is starting. I actually thought he's looked decent so far in preseason, and I don't think he's a massive downgrade from Carr. I've never been super high on Carr. I think that offense is very system based, and I think the defense will absolutely come to play in the Superdome against a division rival. Tampa Bay, they're good. I think they've overperformed just a little bit. So I have no issue teasing the Saints up with that number sitting at 3.5, right? So that's a line that changed after the Spencer Rattler news was announced. So look at our teaser here. We got a 6-point teaser. There's draft. I don't usually use DraftKings, as you can probably tell. All right, so that gets us to +9.5 with New Orleans at home in the Superdome, and then we're teasing the Ravens down to -0.5. So that's going to be my second official show pick. Again, if you don't love the Saints, that's fine with me. Pick another teaser leg if you don't love the Saints as much as I do. I know it's a higher variance spot, trusting a different quarterback with Carr being out, but that's just a spot that I've seen over and over through the years. That Saints defense comes to play when they need to in the dome. So, and if you don't like the Saints, use the Ravens, because the Ravens are a fantastic piece as far as a teaser leg. All righty. See if there's anything else. Yeah, like I said, this was going to be a quick one because it was just me tonight, no Sosa. We'll run to fan therapy real quick and wrap it up. Yeah, look, I'm in a weird position right now with the Cowboys. Obviously, we won. We won in that game that ended at like 1:30 a.m. my time in Central Time Zone against the Steelers. I'm at a point in my fandom. It's very sad. I'm not even necessarily happy when we win games right now under the current administration, the current, coaching staff and leadership and all that stuff, just because our ceiling, the ceiling is so low. So I just cannot see under this coaching staff and the way the organization is being run right now. I don't have a lot of hope. So at this point, just give me draft picks, lose games so McCarthy can get fired and we can start fresh with somebody. I know that's really sad, but it's kind of where I am. I guess I'm, you could call me a pessimist and I'll say I'm a realist, but anyways, that's going to do it, folks. Quick show, 15 minutes. So we got international break right now for soccer. So the MLS show will return after the international break. We'll be back on Monday with the College Football Capital with me and Clee for the college football show early in the week. And then I think we're going to try to do a Friday night spaces on X for college football. We'll go through the majority of the slate. Obviously, lines will have moved quite a bit by then, but we'll still talk some college ball. And make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.